Beck and welcome to my February to be read pile. I'm quite excited about February's to be read pile because it's quite eclectic, but firstly I'm going to start with shaming myself because I said that I would read these and I haven't. So I've got The Song Rising by Samantha Shannon, which is the third book in her Bone Season series. It's like an urban fantasy set in the dystopian future of London, and there are people called clairvoyants and they have supernatural abilities linked to ghosts and the dead. It's pretty cool in terms of a magic system, but I found that even though this book is short, it's just taking me forever to read. I think because it's such a slow burn story that it's just taking me ages. This one got a bit of a pass during January, which I was annoyed at myself about, but sometimes things can't be helped. I'm 130 pages in and it's only a 300-page book, so theoretically, it shouldn't take me too much longer to finish, although like I said, it's got that slower pace to it, so I think that's what's holding me back a little bit. Honestly, I just feel a little bit bored by it, and I was hoping that it would have picked up by now. And the other book that I wanted to talk about, which I'm annoyed about because I genuinely wanted to start it in January, but the same reasons for The Song Rising that I didn't finish that book is the reason I didn't start this one is just because we got way too busy, ridiculously busy in January. It's like we haven't stopped since Christmas, and I just want a break. I want a nap. I just want to chill out. So this one is one that I want to continue reading, Royal Assassin by Robin Hobb. It's the second in her Farseer trilogy, and I am genuinely so excited to pick this up again because I just love these characters, I adore this world, and I love Fitz, even though he's a little bit of an unreliable narrator at times. Robin Hobb really explored the trauma of the Chosen One through Fitz, and I just love her take on it. I'm just really looking forward to diving into this one again. I've read 180 pages of this. It's about 500 pages long, so I still have a little while to go in this book, but I'm still excited about it nonetheless. And so I'm hoping that these two books will very much be my physical reads, maybe one or two others, but these will be my physical reads and priority for February. And then I recently did a book haul video, and in that video I unveiled my to be read card books, and I also said that I would do a random number generator, likely in my February to be read video, choosing one of those books so that I could actually, make some headway through my to be read pile. What you can't see on the back there is a couple of audiobooks I've got. So I have them written on a post-it note so I can count out the amount of books that the generator gives me and I can get the right one. So I'll start with the physical books and then the audiobooks will tack on at the end. In total, there's about 10 to be read books. So it's not like it's that many. I wish I had like 15 or 20 because that seems like a pretty solid number, but I'll make my way there. Hopefully you can see that. Hopefully you could see that, but it generated number 8. So I'm just going to count out 8 books. It turned out that 8 goes into my audiobooks. So the book that I'm going to be reading on my to be read pile or my to be read cart in February is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. Jimenez or Jimenez, I'm not sure which, but I know that this one is a romance that, while it has an age gap, which kind of puts me off a little bit, I've heard that the communication is fantastic. So I'm looking forward to giving it a try because I've heard a lot about this author and I've heard that she writes fantastic romances, and given that it's February and Valentine's Day falls in February, I figured this would be a good one for February. So that number generator timed up quite well. Speaking of romances, actually, I've got 2 that I wanted to talk about. And so one is Pucking Around, which is a hockey romance. I believe it's between a doctor/physiotherapist who begins work with this hockey NHL team with rehabilitating them and their injuries, and she didn't expect to get this because she got a rejection email, but at the last minute someone pulled out of the program and so she got to go instead. So she's barely had any sleep, she's jumped on a plane, it's been 32 hours, she's just got to her new apartment, one of the players has come to pick her up, and it's just a schmozzle, and I like the chaos of it. I like that it's, sexy, it's got that smut to it as well, and I read that one night, which was basically just smut, to be honest. It's a 2-hour audiobook that you're supposed to read before Pucking Around because it gives you kind of the insight and the prequel to who the mystery man is that our main character Rachel keeps referring to. She had a one-night stand with this guy. They had this deep connection despite it only being one night, and both of them walked away without knowing each other's names. And of course he's going to be one of the key players on this NHL team because, it's a romance that is always going to happen. So I'm looking forward to seeing their tension when they see each other again. I'm looking forward to the other romantic leads that are potentially introduced because I think this is a reverse harem where it's one woman and a bunch of men. I don't know. Either way, it's going to be sexy and smutty and full of just random interaction that I can probably laugh at, but it's like a 24-hour audiobook, which is insane for a romance book. But anyway, I started that one a little bit early, so I started at the end of January. So whether I finish it in January, I'm not sure. I might take my time with it. So that is an audio that falls into that romance theme. And then additionally to that one, I have My Roommate is a Vampire. Very different, I think, to Pucking Around. And I think obviously this one is about a human girl who realizes that her roommate, who is a guy, is a vampire because he's always awake at night and asleep during the day. And it's about them forming a romance. So it's kind of like a paranormal romance comedy, I think. And I've seen it talked about a lot, but I figured I should give it a try for myself. And I'm hoping that means that it's good because a lot of people have talked about it, but I know that it can mean that it's just hyped rather than good. So cross your fingers that it's actually worthwhile because I will be trying it. It's like a 9-hour audiobook, so much more palatable than that 24-hour audiobook. Another one that might come up at Libby during February is Swordcrossed, and I think this is a historical male-male romance. I don't know if there's any magic involved to it though, and it says, Matinish J, heir to his family's struggling business, needs his arranged marriage to go off without a hitch. But if he's to successfully restore his house's fortunes, Matty must first hire a swordsman to defend him against any sword challenges at the altar. Unfortunately, the only duelist he can afford is part-time con artist and full-time charming menace, Luca Pierre. Obviously, they're going to fall for each other instead of him and his betrothed. So I'm looking forward to seeing how this works out because it sounds like it's going to be fun and I'm all for a fun time. Then another one that I've got might be a little bit of a risk because I've tried a few books by this author and I've only really stuck to one series that I really love, and that is TJ Klune, and the Green Creek or the Wolf Song series is one of my favorite series of all time. And that's a male-male romance series about werewolves. But this one that is recently come out, I think, is called The Bones Beneath My Skin. And I wanted to give it a try after a friend reviewed it and told me that I might like it. And the synopsis says it's a spine-tingling thriller about a 10-year-old girl with an impossible power, her father, and an unlikely stranger, and they all come together to confront the dangerous forces that want this 10-year-old at all costs. It says it's a strange story of family, love, comets, and bacon. And it sounds like it's got that found family core with some potential mystery thriller aspects thrown in and a little bit of magic too. So that all together makes me a bit intrigued, although I hope that the tension and the characters are pulled off enough that I can, appreciate them, because I found a few of his other books a little bit flat or not quite as easy to connect to the characters as I did with Wolfsong anyway. So with a bit of trepidation, I'm going to add that to my to be read pile as well. I have it on my library holds as, I think, Notify Me, because Libby was going to get the audiobook, so I really hope that Libby acquires the audiobook in February so that I can read it. And then I think as far as to be read piles go, that pretty much sums up what I plan to read in February, although because I'm such a mood reader, and like I said, The Song Rising and Royal Assassin have taken me long enough, I feel like I'm just going to throw stuff into February around this to be read pile as well. So make sure you tune into my currently reading videos, because I talk about, what I'm reading at the moment and how my mind changes and whether I've put anything down or whether something has come up that I'm really interested in those videos. So you can kind of keep track of my mindset, I guess, as the month goes on. So I would direct you to that playlist, which I'll link below, but hopefully I don't deviate too much. And if I do, I hope it's for the right reasons. But that is it for my February TBR. Let me know what you plan to read down below. Is it a lot of books? Is it only a few books? Is it romance or is it something else? I would love to know, but thank you again so much for watching this video. I'll come chat to you down below in the comments and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.